Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It, As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom, It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto, Willies, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the United States of America. And of course, good morning to the entire world receiving our signals via the magic of El Internet, created by We the People, formerly known as ARPANET. We are going to have a great show for you today. Of course, today is Thursday, which means it's Aquino Day. But before we get to the brother, El Señor, my brother from another mother, we go into the studio with El Señor Howard, or Los Señores, Howard Reynolds and Jacques Van Beba.
Well, good morning, Egberto. It is Thursday morning at the radio here at KPFT Houston, and everything is holding together so far. I have no rants. I probably should have one, but I don't. But Jack has some wisdom here, so let's listen to some wisdom instead of a rant.
Let's go to Jack's wisdom.
It's sort of like a rant.
Come on, Mike. All right. Good morning, Egberto. How are you?
I am doing fine, my brother. Talk to me.
Okay. I'm going to just do your headlines. Meet the Press's Kristen Welker did not allow Speaker Johnson to get away with the lie, parroted by a genocidal Netanyahu about Hamas stealing food. This is an attempt to shift the blame from Netanyahu's starvation of the Palestinians onto Hamas. Yeah, that's the ticket. Hamas is stealing the food. Yeah. Trump's billionaire secretary treasurer Bessent admits Trump's tax scam offers a backdoor for privatizing Social Security. This administration is nothing but a bunch of liars, Grinches, and thieves. Oh my!
Well,
oh my, is it?
It is a disaster. It is a disastrous failure already.
Yeah.
Now, I think at what tipping point is there that the Republican Party says, "Wait a minute, this guy's a real liability to us," and force him into resignation?
I don't know what it is, Howard, but I keep thinking there's something that you and I and Jack and Dr. Aquino don't know, because we can't believe that we know the hearts of a lot of these people. We know the hearts of a lot of these people.
They have those?
Yes, come on, Howard, be nice.
I know they have blood pumps.
They have a pump.
I know they have blood pumps.
They don't have a heart. They have a pump.
We're not clear whether they have a real heart other than a blood pump.
Remember, they're Grinches.
Okay. I tell you, you guys, I tell you, you brothers, I tell you. You brothers from another mother.
Yes, we love you too.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else you guys get to say before we bring in our El Señor Aquino?
Well, I hope he talks about the Rage Against the Regime's rallies.
Well,
today.
if you take a look at that newsletter, like as I know you did, you'll see that I actually put the link to his website in there. So, folks, don't forget, Neil Aquino, you should always keep in touch with that site, which is HoustonDemocracyProject.com. HoustonDemocracyProject.com. But without further ado, let's say good morning to El Señor Neil Aquino. Good morning, Neil. How you doing, my dear brother?
Great. Good morning, studio. Good morning, Egberto, local, regional, global, national audience. Politics Done Right. It's a great day ahead.
Yeah, we are going to have a lot to talk about today. Both redistricting with some information you gave me this morning, as well as right. I think you had a commentary about the interview that I did yesterday with Anise Parker, former Mayor Anise Parker, who is actually now running for the county judge. So I'm interested to hear what you guys, how you want to start. It's all yours.
Well, I'll tell you the answer. I'll just talk about Anise Parker. That's an easy one too. I did listen to the interview. Good interview with former Mayor Parker, and I used to have a blog, Texas Liberal, and back we were talking about Netroots earlier. Back when blogging was, many people were blogging. There was a community of Texas bloggers, many of them here. I'll give a shout out to Charles Kuffner, who off the cuff still sticks with it.
Oh yeah,
still sticks with it, and she would have quarterly with the bloggers. She didn't always like what was said, but so in your interview, she talked about the schedule she would hold of civic clubs and different outreaches. And she became more of a conservative Democrat. She stuck with Kim Ogg longer than she needed to. Now, maybe that's out of personal loyalty, and she's ditched Ogg since Ogg so clearly switched parties. But I'm less concerned every day sometimes about some of the ideological divides in the party if the people we're talking about acknowledge the threat going on. And Parker, unsolicited by you, really said how elected Democrats need to be more active in reaching out to voters. And that is a consistent theme of mine. We have this low turnout. Just imagine if we had strong turnout, so many of the Democratic held districts, Beto would have defeated Ted Cruz. I'm convinced of that. So I appreciated that she was willing to fight, and I think she might actually really aggressively counteract Trump. I get the sense that it was more than just a campaign talk, and I'm ready for the current county judge, Lena, I'm ready for her to leave. She's playing this game. I don't know what she's doing, and she's also messing up the other candidate, Letitia Plummer. Councilwoman Plummer has given up her seat. She leaves in January, but she signed the paperwork. And Councilwoman Plummer left her seat because she was told, and I believe her, that Lena was not going to run again. So now we're having an election for that council at-large seat. So this is messed up, really. We need to get to this Plummer versus Parker, and then Erica Lee Carter, Sheila Jackson Lee's daughter, who was in Congress briefly. If she had stayed in Congress rather than sending Sylvester Turner, we'd have a representative in CD18 and one more seat. So it's all this game playing, and it's frustrating, and a lot of that's Rodney Ellis. But we need to move forward. Judge Lena needs to get out, and we need to move forward with this race. And I'm open to Denise Parker, even though she is ideologically more centrist than Councilwoman Plummer.
Let me just say this, right? In Texas, and I will say what I can. In Texas, depending on positions that you're holding, there are many times that some people ask me why, in general, outside of the radio show, because remember, on the radio, I'm supposed to be theoretically neutral. But outside, why I support certain people, and certain people that I support folks would think, well, that's a conservative Democrat, or why are you supporting them? And let me just say one thing. I ask people questions about policy, and rarely on the interviews will I force a person to come out and say, I'm a progressive, I'm a liberal, or I'm a blue dog, I'm a yellow dog. I will rarely, and I don't think I ever really have, asked them specifically that. And the reason why is you don't want to mess up, you don't want to get tied into labels, because a lot of times they fool you. Now, I can tell you when it comes to Denise Parker, I would be very comfortable in Denise Parker being my county judge. Not only that, I would be confident that the policies that she supports would be the policies that progressives will not want. So I am confident of that. I don't know much about Letitia Plummer. I'll have to talk to Letitia Plummer, may get her on as well. And Erica Lee, I know Erica Lee personally. I think she look. One of the things that you find with a lot of the candidates in the Democratic Party is we have a full list of competent people to hold a job, and the question is, what's that thing that makes you choose an Erica Lee over an East Parker over Letitia Plummer? And I think they'll go out there and talk about it.
Right. And, Councilwoman Plummer started very progressive. Remember, at the time of George Floyd, she was the only one willing to talk about police reform issues, actually, and was kind of shunned by some of the other Democratic members of council. My impression is, and I'm not alone in that after that fight, she kind of laid low.
Right.
There hasn't been now what she has done aggressively is pursue apartment inspection reform aggressively, but there hasn't been, she didn't get along great with Sylvester Turner. There seemed to be some there seemed to be some issues there, personal issues, actually. I don't know. And we'll see. But former Mayor Parker, she lived through the AIDS crisis. She was a gay woman, had energy companies in the 70s and 80s. Imagine that. Of course, imagine that today. Now that we're back. We're moving back to Anita Bryant days. But she, I'm interested in the race, and I'm looking for people who will fight back and be on the correct side of a police line.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. What I have to say is that I think, to put it bluntly, I think progressives in the aggregate botched the way we talk about the police issue. Right? They allowed too often Republicans to run off with the law and order theme when it is Democrats that are the law and order party. It is Democrats that are the fiscal responsibility party. You name all these particular issues, and the ones who actually excel, not the rhetoric, but the ones who actually excel on all those issues are Democrats. And if you look at it objectively, that's what you will see. When one allowed the defund police moniker to be taken incorrectly, right? That is a problem. Because again, I want less money for cops and more money for people that are going to go out there and solve America's problem. And cops don't belong where we need psychological help. Cops don't belong where we have marital problems. Cops don't belong in those areas. We should have people specific to that, and that needs to be funded. But poorly, we did a poor job, in my humble opinion, of expressing those things, and in doing so, we pretty much gave these guys made too many of our fellow citizens believe that somehow these guys are law and order. Same thing we've done with spending. Go ahead. I hear you. I see you.
Well, let me say three quick things to that. Maybe we can talk about some of the redistricting. We want to get to the rage against the regime. Yeah. I'll say three quick things to that. I almost talked about judges today. I had a post at HoustonDemocracy.com about our judges. I don't know, Democratic judges in Harris County. I don't know how we've lost the narrative to people who support a felon who defies court orders.
You nail my point, Neil. You nail my point, Neil.
I don't know how we've lost the narrative. And with the police, of course, Texas law, municipalities can't reduce police funding. So Whitmire has given this huge contract to the police, but we can't reduce his funding. And now, we have the revenue cap, and there's some sort of municipal revenue cap being discussed in the legislative special session. I don't know the particulars, but they talked about it at city council. So they're trying to constrain our spending. They want municipalities unable to spend money on anything except police and fire. And third, here in Houston, at the time of George Floyd, all these people were fussing. I remember hearing Abby Kamen, the current District C councilwoman. She was chair of public safety at the time, and she held a hearing about police reform and policing issues. I remember 200 people signed up, but that energy all went away. There was no sustain. People wanted to come, be seen. Oh, I'm, doing this, and no one stuck with it. And we've seen stories recently about the revised police oversight committee that does nothing. That Mayor Turner set up, and he intended it to do nothing.
Yeah, it is a shame. Okay, before we move on, I just want to salute Do You Lie in the chat at the Substack. Jill Freer, Mr. Burgett, John A. Davis, thank you for being here. Mary Little, Ruth, Kat. We also have Mary B, Lisa Fab4, Frank Tumble, Cliff Diamond. Welcome aboard. Do You Lie says, only problem I have with Anise, why does she feel the need to always be in office? I do not mind career politicians. I think that we malign career politicians is not a good thing. Look, I was a career programmer. That's all I did for the first part. Well, I've always done some politics, but I'm talking full time. I was a career programmer. Now I am a career journalist. And that's what I do day in, day out. I watch, I do things. Politics is also a profession, and a profession of service, like a police officer is a profession of service. There's nothing wrong with that, in my humble opinion. Do You Lie? So I'm not going to knock her for liking or wanting to serve. But I respect those who do that as well, just as I respect you, Brother Lie, why do I call you Brother Lie? Do You Lie? I support you for your work. Neil, do you want me to go to the phones first, or do you want to bring up your topic first?
Let me just do a brief plug for the Rage Against the Regime. So this is a continuation of the 50501. Appreciate the caller waiting an additional minute for the 50501 protests. So this is the last event were those no good trouble events back on June 17th. And this is strictly the 50501 people. There are different groups nationally. I don't even know that's overly interesting to talk about here, but there are different groups nationally putting on these events. And that's why they come at different times and have different themes. So Houston City Hall, 9 a.m. on Saturday the 2nd. There's a Rage Against the Regime. It's the local 50501 organizers. Then this is all volunteer. There then is an event at the ICE Detention Center at 5 p.m. at 15850 Export Plaza Drive. This is all on my HoustonDemocracyProject.com blog. Then in Kingwood, with the excellent Cindy Hendrickson, Kingwood at the intersection of Westlake, Houston, and Kingwood Drive at 9 a.m. on Saturday. When back on No King's Day, June 14th. I'm getting all my dates confused because there's been, but July. The good trouble was in July. That's what's confusing me. The Patriot Front came to the No Kings on the 14th, and then Conroe City Hall, 101 North Thompson, Saturday morning at 9. And God bless the organizers in Montgomery County. And they are having consistent, there were events in Huntsville and Conroe. You can also go to Google and Google mobilize Rage Against the Regime, and you will find some of these events. And if there's a link to the national events also and Texas events on the Houston Democracy website.
Thank you very much, Neil. Folks, be sure to participate. I will be out at Kingwood and Kingwood Drive and Lake Houston Boulevard, taping as I did a few weeks ago when we had the largest protest in Kingwood's history. 700 something people on one corner. It was marvelous.
Councilman Flickinger noticed it. The district councilman, he said, "Oh, they had a lot of people." Yeah.
Yes, we were lined all four corners. On all 8 sides, all 4 corners. It was marvelous. Let's go to Brother John from Cyprus. John, how are you doing, my dear brother?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. But obviously I'm calling in because I have a few questions. I usually call in when I have questions. If I follow you guys and I like what y'all say. I love the podcast thing of black podcasters. That was a good article.
Thank you, brother.
And I like that because that tells you what lengths Republicans will go to keep the narrative in their favor. I don't necessarily agree with Denise Parker. I wasn't really I was maybe a Houston citizen back then. I'm not anymore. I got out of the city for a reason. The county is a different animal, and I think they need to see what is Denise Parker going to do for the Latinos, because the Latinos vote in Harris County. Sheriff Gonzalez shows you that. He shows you his elections every year show you that the Latinos do like that. They like that name Gonzalez. Denise Parker, I don't know. I don't think we should be. It looks to me like she may end up, her candidacy may divide the voters. I really do feel that way right now. I don't feel comfortable with it. I haven't heard anything that's going to convince me that, oh man, she's the answer. No, I don't.
Let me just say, listen, I can't advocate for anyone, right? But I can tell you that first of all, I like Lina Hidalgo as well. I also like Denise Parker. And I think one of the things that you have a whole lot of Texas Congress people, Texas reps, and etc. They are very hesitant to come out and tell you what they're really for, because they have the false belief that Texans will immediately call them woke and all these other things that I think is actually a fine thing to be called. Woke is fine. But yes. Yeah, so I think what I want folks to do with this election, and as I think Neil pointed out, we have a blessing of good characters running, and whomever actually talks and makes you feel comfortable that they will be there to support the policies. And I don't know if you noticed that there's a part of that interview that we did where she showed some camaraderie with yours truly, the host, and said, we understand what it is to be the maligned. And what she immediately she meant at me, Black and Latino, at her, gay. Okay, that is what she wanted. You can see that was something she wanted to get across in the interview for people like you to see, right? So that is my thought process there. But my brother John, you go out there and you listen to all of them and then make your judgment. You said you had two questions. Well, what's the other one?
I do that. I'm a very progressive person and have been for a long, long time. And I just know that Lena has the same problem Barack Obama did.
Yes. As
soon as she got in, the number one thing of her opponents was, I'm going to make sure you fail. Mm-hmm. Not I'm going to try to work with you. I'm going to try to solve our problems. Yeah. They're not trying to solve our problems. They just simply want control. And and I see that we're making ground. We're gaining ground, just like with this woman in Florida that wants to attack stock trading, and that is the right thing to do. And she's Republican.
Right.
We should get behind those kind of people, and I see that. So we're gaining ground. We need to keep doing what we're doing. But I think what we can do without having that knowledge, and especially nationally, is shoot ourselves in the foot. I love that Kamala Harris she has to check with the governor of California before she decides to run for governor. She can't hurt him. Because he's our saving grace nationally right now, I think. That's my thought.
Look, I honestly think, John, we have an ocean of people waiting to serve, and specifically progressives, if the Democratic establishment will get out of the way. Neil, your thoughts on that?
Well, let me say, Sheriff Gonzalez. So Sheriff Gonzalez was the top vote getter in 2024 of the countywide Democrats. Although it was only 53%, he was the top vote getter. I recall. I remember in 2020, but it was in the high 60s. So that shows you some of the problems. It's been trending the wrong way. So we do need the right candidates in Harris County. And I forget my next point.
Well, you've noticed that I challenged. Go ahead, John.
I agree with that. He's right. He's correct. We have to watch, and that's what I'm trying to say, I guess, is we have to watch which candidates we put out there. Even though it's good intended, is it going to get us in that position? Can we stop gerrymandering? Can we do that? And how to really do that? Because that's what I'm looking for now. I'm going all over the media now, looking for people with answers. I got plenty of questions of my own.
Well, but my next point was that Sheriff Gonzalez has been rumored to run for county judge. I've heard from multiple places. I'm not seeing that, but he's been rumored to run for county judge. And we need to stop these deaths in the Harris County jail.
Yeah, exactly.
John,
I got some other calls. Can we take this on tomorrow?
Yeah, no, it's all right. I just had one last thing, and I'm just wondering why nobody's called for Trump's resignation as a pedophile, and why they don't use that word to refer to Trump. I hate it. I hate that they don't do that in the media, and that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Let's call it what it is.
I know. Let me just say one thing, and this is speculation, but I think if it were Obama, they would have talked about this. I want you to recall that now that these papers are sort of out and some people have seen it, and given that some of those women passed through Mar-a-Lago, including the woman who committed suicide earlier this week. And I'm not talking a lot about Epstein. I'm saying this because I want people aware of this. Some of these underage girls went through Mar-a-Lago. All right. And the question is, how comes the media hadn't really stepped up and pointed that out? As you know, they would have otherwise. I know nothing. I'm just saying that the woman who committed suicide, the 40-something-year-old woman who they attacked back in the early 90s or whatever, she went through Mar-a-Lago and a few others. But anyway, thank you, John. Let me go to Cindy. I think Cindy has a message for us. So,
good. Cindy.
You have a wonderful. Thank you, John, and thank you for being here. Cindy, come on in, my sister.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, beautiful. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm okay. I'm navigating traffic. I'm just calling in to dovetail on Neil's comments about the Rage Against the Regime rallies. We will be having one in Kingwood this Saturday from 9 to 11 at the corner of Westlake Houston and Kingwood Drive. I don't think we get the numbers that we had during No Kings, but I'm hoping a few people will show up, please.
Well, first of all, Cindy, thank you for what you do with the Indivisible group and what you're doing with the 605. Let me just say this, though. Please, Cindy, please don't cap yourself. I don't think people will show up. You need to tell folks, hey, folks, all you guys that showed up, let's do it again.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I just have a little bit of concern because there hasn't been too much discussion about this rally on the mainstream media like they did with No Kings. So we're doing all we can to get the word out. Okay,
Cindy, I want to say one thing about that. You are going to see less and less about when these activism actions take place. And that is because, again, they don't want all this stuff advertised. They don't want us to hit that 3% magic number that says when you hit 3%, things change. And guess what? You are an agent of change, Cindy. You are an agent of change. And thank you for what you're doing in Kingwood and the surrounding areas. Anything else you want to tell us, my sister?
No, that's it. It's too early in the morning for me to process too many thoughts.
Hey, for all of you listening, let me tell you a little secret about Cindy. Cindy, that great thing that she put on where we got over 700 people here in Kingwood. The day before the event, I was talking to Cindy, and she was hoping that 50 people were going to be out there. She got 700. Great job, Cindy.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Richard.
So let me spend a minute on that.
Yes.
So Cindy is organizing out in Kingwood. So for most of us, so wherever you're listening from today, across the state, across the region, across the country, no one is coming to organize us. We are going to have to organize ourselves. These folks out in Kingwood, Conroe, Katy, across the region, and also the black and brown portions of Houston outside the loop that are often neglected by the political establishment. No one is coming to organize you, and we are going to have to do it ourselves. And all of this work is being done by unpaid folks who are doing it over and over and over. And if you know someone, if in so many of these parts of town and parts of the county, the person 5 doors down is afraid to come out, put a sign, a bumper sticker, announce that they are opposed to Trump. If you know someone, talk to them, tell them that there's someone on the same street who feels that way. The person we have got to do this ourselves. No one is coming to organize us in most of the country.
And what I'm saying, we have people that are going out to do just that. Cindy being one of them. And I am so happy that people are, in fact, engaging. So for all you listeners out there, do not lose hope. I am telling you, we have been, look, I became an American citizen in the 90s, okay? But I can tell you this, I've studied American history. I had to pass my American test for my citizenship.
Sure.
Let me tell you something, folks. We've been through this before. The Red Scare was like this. Sometimes in the 1800s, it was like this.
The 1850s was just like this.
Exactly.
I've been reading an account of the 1850s. Let me tell you, these people would engage in outright insurrection during the 1850s, and would be rewarded with the highest positions of government. And boy, some of the parallels are something.
And our job, Neil, is to make sure that people understand that this is not a time to give up. This is a time to engage. This is not time to back up. This is a time to move forward. And yes, there are going to be bumps, and some of us are going to get hit in the head. But the thing about it is we come out ahead because we are the good ones. We are the moral ones. And these are absolute terms that I'm using. We are the moral ones. Let's go to Brother Richard. Come on in, Richard.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Egberto, and thank you, Neil, for all y'all do. And Cindy, if you're not rage against the regime, you're not paying attention. I just want to say something, though. If you're still making excuses for your Trump chump friends, he's just politically challenged. He's really a great guy. If you're still playing golf with these people, you're part of the problem. But the main reason I called is don't be surprised. How many times have we got our hopes up? The last 10 years, I thought, here's the line they won't cross. Mm-hmm. So I'm very reluctant to get my hopes up here. And what's going to happen? You're going to have another Bill Barr moment. You're going to have somebody come in here and rewrite the Epstein file, just like Bill Barr rewrote the Mueller report and say, nothing to see here, folks, nothing to see. Move along, move along. That's what's fixing to happen. So be ready to, get your hopes dashed again.
Richard, are you helping organize the Conroe? I'm sorry, Richard, are you helping organize Conroe?
And Huntsville. I'll be at both. I'm obligated to both. And I just want to say this, too. If I would have been in it 100% like I am now, if the rest of us would have been in it like Cindy and you, Neil, then we wouldn't be here.
I just want to point out to everyone listening, John from Cyprus, who called a few minutes ago, Kingwood, Richard lives in Montgomery County. There are, wherever you're living, there are folks doing the work and who share your views. Thank you.
And I want to say one thing to Richard. Richard, I don't know if you heard when I said that I wasn't going to spend an inordinate amount of time on Epstein, because I think you have it exactly right. they own the Justice Department. They own all these. They own the executive, and they can do whatever they want. And to put it bluntly, they also own the Supreme Court. So I don't expect there to be a bunch coming out. I think, and you can tell me if you agree with me or not, Richard. I honestly think while the Epstein thing is real, while it is bad, I consider it a distraction. What I spend my time in doing, including if you read the blog that I did last night, I am going to be concentrating on the things that affect all of you, meaning the big bad bill is a lot worse than you could possibly imagine. And every time we spend on Epstein, it is time not educating Americans to go out there and say, we have got to do something in 2020, not 2026. We have very important races in November in 2025 that we need to be supporting. The governor of Virginia, the governor of Jersey. We have a lot that we have to do right now to start this process of fixing what's happening with the big bad bill. So I am with you, Richard. I don't think anything ultimately is going to come out of the Epstein files because, again, they own all the means of getting it to you. So we need to concentrate on things we have control. Go ahead, Richard.
Right. Yeah, you asked me whether I agree or not. And yeah, I do. However, Neil's proof that you can chew gum and walk at the same time. We can do both. We need to hold our feet to the fire over Epstein, but we don't want to make that the main issue and forget the stuff that's going to really resonate.
Okay, so, but here's Richard, you and Neil can chew gum and do things at the same time, but the mainstream media is not interested in doing that. And if you take a look at the day that I wrote this other blog, it was a reason. I got up in the morning and every news channel was concentrating on Epstein. There was nothing about what's going to happen to Americans who go get their go onto the exchanges and find out that there's no longer subsidies for them. People need to be prepared for what's going to happen in November with the loss of subsidies. But we were talking 24/7. Now, I know subsidies doesn't affect you, my dear brother, but it affects a lot of people who are listening right now to this program because they get their health insurance on the exchange and it'll actually affect them. So I'm saying that you can do two things at the same time. Neil can do two things at the same time. The media has no interest in doing what needs to be done. That's why we are here. Close up for me, Richard.
That's good. No, that's great. I agree 100%. No, I'm close. I'm in it. I'd like to say if I'd been in it like this, if the rest of us had been in it this serious, then maybe we would have done some good.
You're absolutely right. Hey, well, Richard, don't bang yourself. Let me just tell you, thank you for what you're doing. You have a wonderful day, Richard. We have a lot of respect for what you're doing, sir.
Thank you. Y'all hang in there. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Let's go, John from Minnesota. Come on in, my brother John from Minnesota.
Very good.
Yeah, I was going to say, yes, we don't want to be distracted. And really all we have is each other and a few interested politicians here and there that are supporting us. But when you get sidetracked by, these salacious kinds of issues, it is going to go nowhere because we don't have the Justice Department. We don't have the FBI. We don't have the Supreme Court, as you said. And so why waste your time? Focus on those issues that appeal to people across the board. And politically, we can, eventually, come to a solution, a political solution to this awful problem. And to other callers who brought up how awful Donald Trump is and how he got elected, it is really rather mysterious. Growing up in New York is where I'm originally from, and I'm telling you, he hung out with some of the worst people in that city, mafia bosses, Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn even used to brag about how he got the death penalty for the Rosenbergs, and Mrs. Rosenberg just made chicken soup, probably, as a good Jewish mother. So it's just, we can't get sidetracked. And the media always they're selling a product. and they don't want to offend anybody. So they give you a nothing sandwich. That's what they do. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, John. You have a wonderful rest of your day, John. I want to salute Joe from Los Angeles, California. Good morning. Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia. Good morning. Harry Dennison from Missouri, Texas. Lita Beercat from Austin. Eric Hayes from Kingwood, Atascocita. Welcome aboard in the other chat. You guys are, thank you for being here this morning. And I added to our other place, Natalia Lago. Welcome aboard from Virginia. John Nicolette, Charles White. Rose Maley, MD, says the MSM has become pathetic. So much sane washing, even the New York Times, all owned by billionaires. That is why I'm coming to you, Jimmy. That is why I want to say this. Whenever you have public media, stuff that you control, coming to you when we come to you and say, hey, help fund us. That is the reason why, my brothers and sisters, right? Because we are the last hope of giving you unbiased information, even if again, here on this program with a more progressive slant. Of course, on the program at 8:00, you get a more right slant. But again, we are independent of anyone telling us what to tell you, which means you get truth. So just thought I might say that. Come on in, Jimmy. And by the way, Jimmy is a great supporter of this station. Come on in, brother Jimmy.
I enjoyed your interview with Anise Parker. She did a good job as mayor of Houston, and so I will be voting for her for county judge. I'm calling today, though, because the West Houston Democrats are meeting tonight at Lucky Village Restaurant at 7:00. It's on Westheimer, 10769 Westheimer.
Repeat that, Jimmy. Jimmy, repeat that so people know.
The West Houston Democrats are meeting tonight at Lucky Village Restaurant, 10769 Westheimer. The main speaker is Attorney Joe Jaworski from Galveston, who is running for state attorney general to replace Ken Paxton. So everybody's welcome tonight. It starts at 7:00, and you can eat and not eat, but we have good crowds, and more people are welcome to learn about the various candidates. Candidates can all speak up about why they're running for office.
I'm going to make your day, Jimmy, because I haven't asked him yet, but I know I told him that I saw him at a mixer a couple weeks ago, and he's our KPFT brother, by the way. He does a few things here at KPFT, and I told him that I'm going to call him up to get an interview scheduled because, we need good people out there. So thank you for pointing that out, Jimmy.
And Jimmy, Steve Fike still running West Houston.
Joe Jaworski's running for state attorney general.
No, your club president. Still Steve, right? Steve Fike.
You mean the president of the club, Jimmy?
No, it's Hilton.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for being part of that. And there are 32, I believe it is, chartered clubs in Harris County, and there is one near you.
Yeah, absolutely. Participation is everything. And Jimmy, hey, I tease Jimmy all the time. Jimmy is up there in age, and this guy is like a young man running all over the place. Look at him. Hey, Jimmy, we all want to grow up to be like you, my man.
Well, thank you. You stay active and be involved and join groups that you like. You'll be doing some good work, and you're making new friends at the same time.
You're right about that. Well, thank you, Jimmy. Anything else you want to say real quickly?
No, hope to see y'all tonight at the Lucky Village Restaurant at 7:00.
Thank you, brother. Have a great one, Jimmy. Jimmy is a great guy. You know, Jimmy actually appeared on the Phil Donahue show.
Okay.
Yeah, Jimmy was on the Phil Donahue show, and he was there protesting paddling of kids He wants to outlaw paddling, So Jim is a very good guy. Anyway, Neil,
Phil wouldn't make it today. Phil was so liberal they wouldn't. He was come on at 9 a.m.
Yes,
and he was aggressively to the left, and you wouldn't get that today.
Well, we have to bring that back, because that's the only way we save the country, aggressively to the left. If you take a look at wanting to know if the country is yearning for that. When I talk about Mamdani in New York, people would kind of just turn their heads and say, but that is New York. And I have to remind them that New York City has elected Republicans like Republicans. They have elected Bloomberg, Giuliani. They've elected Democrats, progressive and centrist. Look, Adams is currently the mayor, and he's definitely not a progressive Democrat. Never was. Okay. So New York, I think, is more of a barometer than people would imagine. And New York State, we have to Pataki. They elected Pataki, a Republican.
Right.
They elect, So when people smirk about what's happening in New York is just New York, they miss the ball. New York actually is a bellwether as well. And
you look at the polls from New York, I see some polls that the most popular Democrats in the state are Mamdani and AOC.
Yeah.
More so than Jeffries, Schumer, and Gillibrand.
And they are and the magic number, they're both over 50%.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do better than that. If you're over 50%, you're that. Welcome aboard, Natalia Lago, Bunny Breslin, RV Hughes. And Natalia says, every seat in Virginia's General Assembly, as well as the office of governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general, are up for grabs in the upcoming November 2025 election. Yeah. So when we talk about don't wait for 2026, you can have an effect on every single race in Virginia now. And let me tell you better, for all of you that are listening here, let me tell you a magic thing that we can do. There are a lot of red districts in Virginia. I think they call them delegates. I interviewed a couple of people out there, and I'll have a few to interview at Netroots in New Orleans next week.
House of Delegates,
right. Now, here's the thing in Virginia. Those people who help Virginians right now can actually turn a whole lot of those seats that put the panic in the eyes of those people who are doing us wrong, because they see that you are reacting. So if you're getting any messages from rank and file, notice what I'm saying, rank and file folks out of Virginia, support them. I'm not going to tell you support the party. I'm going to tell you support those rank and file folks that want to make a difference in people's lives in Virginia and elsewhere. But as Natalie Lagos said, it is really up for grabs. Anyway, Neil, what else you got for me?
What else do I have for you? So John from Cyprus. Initially I thought that was maybe going to be John Rosenthal, who lives in Cyprus, the state representative. And so John Rosenthal is the vice chair of the redistricting committee. And so the redistricting maps were announced yesterday. 5 seats gained theoretically, aspirationally, by the Republicans. The one hearing after the maps are drawn is or released. They've been drawn forever.
Right.
Is tomorrow in Austin at 10. There are buses and local folks going. I think they do hope to have a big crowd. There was a redistricting hearing this past Saturday in Houston. There, John Rosenthal, who is active, who does show up for folks, is the vice chair, and and so the issue is the quorum break. Are the Democrats are the House Democrats going to break quorum and leave town? And I keep reading also that the Senate Democrats, because there are only 30 senators at the moment, because there's one vacancy from a Republican who resigned, that I keep reading that the 11 Democrats have the power also to break quorum and stop it. And the Senate Democratic leader is Carol Alvarado, who is very insiderish, sits on $3 or $4 million of campaign funds, defended Kim Og a little bit last year, and would be great to see her aggressively out there.
Well, interestingly, I'm going to call up Rosenthal. In fact, I'll call him up as soon as I get off of the program, because he was actually on MSNBC last night, not speaking to MSNBC, but they had the clip of him challenging the commission as he pointed out that the redistricting was a farce. They used a clip of him doing it yesterday on MSNBC. So I think I'm going to call him up and see if we can have something for the audience tomorrow. All right, folks. So look, it is important. I got a couple of stories about Medicare for All that I wanted to cover, but I don't have the time to go through it now. I want Neil to, if Neil has anything else to say, I want to go there. But also I want to say that on Social Security, yesterday, I think, was one of the days that the Republicans exposed themselves on what they really want to do with Social Security. And they're using different techniques within the big bad bill to actually do it. In effect, there's a bill that allows you to create, the government is going to give you $1,000. And you are to put $5,000 in an account for your kid up and until that kid is 18 years old. And when asked about that bill, Bessent, who is the Treasury Secretary, said this is the start of the start of a backdoor way of privatizing Social Security. I'm putting it up on the screen right now because I want you all to follow. Do I have the ability to do it on the screen? It looks like I didn't set it up on. No, I think I do. Well, I'll leave that blank. It says Bessent admits Trump tax scam offers backdoor for privatizing Social Security. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Wednesday admitted that a provision in Republicans' One Big Beautiful Bill Act is a mechanism for privatizing Social Security, something President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he wouldn't do. Speaking at a policy event hosted by the far-right group news site Breitbart, Bessent touted the so-called Trump accounts. That's what this account is called. Okay, Trump accounts.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Available to all U.S. citizen children starting next July under the OBBBA. That is the One Big Beautiful Bill by the president earlier this month. In a way, it is a backdoor. This is what he said. In a way, it is a backdoor way of privatizing Social Security, the billionaire former hedge fund manager said of the accounts. Social Security is a defined benefit plan paid out. That to the extent that if all of a sudden those accounts grow and you have in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for retirement, that's a game changer. What he's telling you, I want you guys to understand what he's saying. He's saying, if a lot of people start to have these private accounts with hundreds of $1,000s in there, it will be that much easier to scrap the Social Security as we know it, because, the people that matter will have money in these accounts. What this billionaire doesn't understand is that most people could not possibly put $5,000 in these accounts every year.
Absolutely.
That turns out to a lot. These people are so, Neil Aquino, these people are so in such a bubble. They don't understand that 67% to 77% of Americans live in dire straits. They don't get it, Neil.
They don't care.
They don't care, and they don't get it.
No.
I mean, It is sad. Let me go to Margaret. Margaret, come on, line 1, because we're close on time. Come on in, Margaret.
Good morning. Just a short morning here, West Coast. Everybody pay attention to what Egberto just said. Backdoor to privatization. And also, we need to continue on the Medicaid cuts because my freshman Republican representative is now saying, well, the hospitals are going to get $50 billion, and he's touting garbage. And so we need to educate everybody how that will not affect all the people that will not have coverage, that will still need health care. So I just want to promote Egberto any way you can. KPFT Radio, Substack. I just bought him a coffee to help get him to New Orleans. And we just need to stay together, join your local indivisible 50/50 501, anything and everything we can do. And I appreciate everything that you're doing, Egberto.
Margaret, let me tell you, you're a godsend. Thank you very much, very, very much for what you do, because you're out there as well. It is what we all do collectively that matters. None of us are and we are not rugged individuals. I do not want to be a rugged individual. I want to be a collective with you all. Margaret,
right. That's right.
Margaret, thank you for all you do, my sister.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Have a wonderful day. All right, we are time to close out. I tell you what, Neil, give me a closer before I go to the studio.
It was just the 60th anniversary of Medicare and Medicaid. I just pulled up an article. Community groups, advocacy groups, and city lawmakers gathered in front of Syracuse City Hall to mark the 60th anniversary and to talk about the cuts. And they are throwing us to the wolves. But 60th anniversary, we fought for these programs. We paid for them, and they are essential. Please go to HoustonDemocracyProject.com, and we talk local.
Thank you so kindly, my brother. Studio, my brother's in the studio. Talk to me.
Oh, nothing here. Jack, what do you got?
All right. Rage Against the Regime, Saturday, August 2nd, 901 Bag Me, that's City Hall from 9 to noon. And then the export at 5 p.m. the same day at 15850 Export Plaza Drive at 5 p.m. is at the ICE Detention Center.
Thank you, my brother. Yep. Folks, love you all. Can't finish up. PoliticsDoneRight.com/newsletter. PoliticsDoneRight.com/newsletter. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out. Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from PoliticsDoneRight.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willies.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive,